Hi guys, this is Lashette from Scarlet Moon Creations, and I am back. This is my March wrap up for my Divination journal and my April plans. So you'll see decks and things. I have 3 notebooks here, and I will explain them in a second. But we start off, as always, with my Live, Love, Sparkles Divination journal. Things did not go according to plan this month. As you can see, I already started marking things off. I used the Baseball Tarot, but not the Fairies Oracle, or the Lightseers Tarot, or the Deviant Tarot. Which means those 2 were only me pulling the cards for the month from my year ahead spread, Wheel of Life. So I didn't do those. I also didn't use the Universal Goddess Tarot. Practices of the month, I did not do the Fairies Oracle study, which is the whole point of that being there. Tarot at Work Challenge, I did do. Oh, wait. Oops. Okay. So kind of like bullet journal style, I'll put an X next to things I completed, and I'll cross out things I didn't, or actually I should put the forward arrow. But for now, the Tarot at Work Challenge I did. Tier ranking the tarot, that video you should have seen already, hopefully. As far as having time to edit, it's been a moment, but I did do that. I did not do another comparing Oracle keywords video. That's okay. Something else came up, and so you'll get that video instead. Spreads, did not do a full moon, or dark moon, or a spring equinox spread. So there's that. I didn't do a lot, and that's okay. This is not something I need to be daily pulling cards. I just had plans and I just didn't, yeah. Okay, so the Tarot at Work Challenge I mentioned at the end of my previous video. This was created by Hermit's Mirror. You can find them on Instagram and at hermitsmirror.com. Links in the description. And this was a month-long challenge, though the prompts were for every other day. My plan was to do all 15, 16 prompts in the first half of the month, and then the second half of the month focus on the Fairies Oracle deck study. It didn't work out like that. I tried to be more creative. I don't love the way this turned out. What I did here is I have a book that I use. It's too much work to get it. It's an old book I got from the thrift store several years ago, and I tear book pages out of it regularly to use for stuff like this. And I wanted to give a similar kind of old-fashioned vibe to the Baseball Tarot deck. And this blue grid paper, the blue grid paper, like the paper's white, but the grid itself is blue. I have as well. Get it cheap from the 99-cent store. It reminded me of stats from baseball. Also the score thing, and some of the mesh they have around so the balls don't wind up in the parking lot exactly. Anyway, and then I was using an orange pen, brush pen. I had a kind of brownish ballpoint pen, like the ink, but it didn't work out very well. So, and to have some kind of florals, I was using this thin washi tape and the dark blue ballpoint pen. So yeah, it looks messy. Honestly, when it comes down to it, doesn't really matter. The challenge was broken up by week. Each week had like a theme. I really wanted to do this with the Baseball Tarot because of how they looked, honestly. they looked. How the cards, I feel, are very good for practical matters like work. It's very direct, and having baseball being such a iconic part of our culture, that terms fit so well when we're talking about work and things like that. So the first week was about your current occupation. I was not home for the first two, so I did them in the Airbnb in bed. I was sharing with other people, so that's why I did it in bed. Also, I do these things in bed when I'm at home in the morning anyway. So you pick a card to represent your primary occupation currently. I had first picked one card, the breaks, and then I switched that card later on to the 12 of balls because I had a better understanding of the minor arcana. Just from looking, honestly. Reading a bit more of the guidebook. So yeah, that's the first 4 days. I was trying to recreate the golden border there. Is this week? No, this week 3. Week 2 takes up less space, and yeah, it looks a little bit better, neater. Got a better handle on how to write and whatnot. Childhood dreams was this week's theme, and there's 4 different readings. I underlined the cards so I could see them better, but there was a big time jump. If you don't notice the dates, this says March 16th. This last one says March 5th. So I don't know what happened exactly, but yeah, I wasn't doing it, so I did them. And it wound up being simpler. This is week 3. I had longer strips just because the paper, the way I had to cut the paper this time, and to cover up the text that was on the other page. So it's easier for me to read. These were a little more difficult, major boss energy, and for each one, you're picking the card you feel best fulfills that character trait, like competence and expertise, or respected with good interpersonal skills. I wasn't sure about my response to the question each time, so I thought I might pull an oracle card, and that's why I left the excess paper, and then I just never did. That's not to say that I might not in the future. So these are on the 18th. And then the 20th, week 4, courtly colleagues. We have 3 questions, and it's a similar setup. For major boss energy, we had to use major arcana cards. For our courtly colleagues, we had to use a court card that would best fit each description, like the one you don't ever want to work with. This one was interesting because I picked all 12s for these. 12s are the knights in this particular deck, so that was interesting. Then the last 2 days was kind of rounding everything up. And for this page and the next one, even though it's a separate practice, I used this old, almost newsprint type paper, but it's brown. And yeah, kept with the grid paper here and a new washi. So overall, I'm very happy with the way this challenge turned out. I will be posting my individual posts on Instagram, link in the description. Next, so that was on the 23rd, maybe 24th of March. As you could see, I was just like, And then the other practice that I actually wound up doing, Marlena Teresa, link in the description to her video, decided to do a deck and walk and kind of like generally invited a lot of people. And I've decided to join in because I've been wanting to get to my next step of studying astrology. The decan walk, in the simplest terms, decans are an astrological thing, and if you think of Western astrology, there are 12 zodiac signs, and pulling from Hellenistic astrology and before that Egyptian, they break up each zodiac sign into 10 degrees. So in space, all 12 zodiac signs all together add up to 360 degrees. 12 split evenly. If we're going through like a whole sign house thing, it's 30 degrees for each sign. Then the decans break each sign's piece of the pie down to 10 degrees each decans. And each 10 degrees is assigned another planet, and they correlate thanks to the Order of the Golden Dawn with a tarot card. And you can see this reflected in the Thoth Tarot, particularly because they have the symbols of the signs and planets on the cards. So, any Thoth-based decks or decks that lean more into the astrological meanings usually have this, and this is the minor arcana for the most part. With the decans, it's 36 cards, 36 faces, 36 secrets. So, all of that being said, I joined in, and thinking about it, I realized I had already started an astrological journal. I didn't put all of the details I wanted into it, so I wanted to do the decan walk and focus mostly on astrology. So I'll get to that in a second. But this is studying, so not something I want to put in this book. This I want to keep with readings, particularly because there's not that much left in here. Like, I would be finished with this book in days if I just had notes. So, Marlena was very kind to create a spread for Aries 1, which is the first decan in Aries, the first decan of the decans, all 36 of them. And so I did that reading here at the end of the month. The decan walk that started on the 21st, but anyone can join in at any time. I kind of started late, but anyway, so this was for the first 10 days, and I did my reading, and oh wait, no, I did use the Universal Goddess Tarot, so I have to take that back. I forgot about this spread. It's right here anyway, the Universal Goddess, and a very nicely created one. Then, what happened is, this was my example of my notes. I just started, I don't remember what day this was, but I started taking notes, and then I was like, I'll be here, I'll be here forever. The other thing is, I don't even know what to do with this situation. I did a full moon reading. It was on the 1st. It was for the previous full moon earlier. It was not full moon in Pisces, and I'm just now realizing that. Or not just now, but I realized this yesterday, and so now all of this needs to be changed. When I do my full and new moon readings, I like to do them, like write them out in the colors associated with the sign the moon is in. So at first I did this in all red. And then I was like, oh no, it was the full moon in Pisces. So I went over this with the green, and I put the green washi tape here, and I was like, okay, that works. And then I realized it's not Pisces, so this is still wrong. So I am not perfect, you guys. I'm just gonna do this real quick. So that's my page. I just realized I accidentally recorded my flip through of my astrology journal in hyperlapse too. So let's just do this voiceover. Here's my first page with my sources and whatnot. The stuff I had tucked into the beginning of the notebook are my printed out chart. I put some notes about decans, and so these are some of the first pages I did on Mars and Aries. I also created a study journal that I have for the decan walk. This is where I'm recording my notes about the cards and the astrology influences from the various sources I'm using. I'm also setting up my new cover page in my Divination journal now, so let's look at that. Okay guys, here is my cover page. I use that washi. It's got birds on it and roses. And some text sometimes, as you can see. So it's like a collage art washi tape, but I think it goes very well, and maybe I'll put some more on April decks and readings. So let's go over the decks I plan on using. First up, the baseball tarot. It's still spring, and baseball goes with spring. I am not a baseball fan at all. I just do what I do. And this is not a deck I own. I borrowed it from a friend, and so I want to get some good use out of it before I return it, probably either during the summer, if not in October. Those are the 2 times I know I'll see her. But yeah, I really want to do some daily draws with this, which I did not get a chance to do. So here we have the guidebook, and I still hate this box, but it keeps everything together. And there are spreads. There are like 13 different spreads in here. 1 card layouts, 2 pitch and swing. They change up hype and scoop, infield and outfield, and then 3 card pulls: hit, ball, strike, starter, reliever, closer, who's on first. Longer spreads, calling the plays, and this has 10 cards, and it's set up like kind of it's a diamond format. The diamond is the baseball diamond, and the positions of the cards are named after positions of the field. This is for each of the players, I believe. I don't know if I'll be using these 2, because this one says is to figure out the dynamics within a group of 3 or more people. The diamond is the answer to the traditional Celtic cross. There's the traditional Celtic cross. I may or may not do this. There's layouts for 2 or more people here, so I don't know, but we'll see. So definitely those 2 and 3 card spreads I want to try. And so I have that under the baseball tarot spreads section here. The Fairies Oracle. I didn't get to wrap up my study last month like I planned, so here we go. I want to pair this with the baseball tarot. I think they would look great together. mostly it's about finishing my study of this deck. I don't know how it's going to go because I also want to do the deck and walk. But before we get to that, the Universal Goddess Tarot. That's the box cover. I should check. I'm pretty sure this deck is still in print. It's a little Scarabeo deck. And using this for my moon readings is nice. So I would like to continue that because I haven't been really using this. If you watched my video about my spring decks, that's 2 of the ones that were in that video. Now, in conjunction with my monthly practice, I'm pulling for new and dark moons. I've got the Moonology Oracle cards, which I'm mostly just pulling the actual phase of the moon. I may or may not pair this with the baseball tarot because why not? It's going to be out and I have already had the urge, so we shall see. Yeah, the new and dark moon and full moon spreads. The Universal Goddess Tarot I'll probably also use for my late spring equinox reading. And the Light Seers and the Deviant Moon Tarot, you see these a bunch of times. I'm not going to show them to you. These are for my Wheel of the Year. Sorry. My Year Ahead Wheel of Life spread. I have cards for each month. One from each of these decks. So I'm just going to pull those cards and interpret. Last but not least, officially, for my deck and walk. Oh, I forgot. I'm missing 2 spreads here. Anyway, so I've got the Spirit Keepers Tarot Revelation Edition. This is the first printing. If you're unaware, Benabel Wen, the creator of this deck, is currently offering pre-orders for a second printing. God, it smells so good in here. I did such a good job with cleansing and charging this deck with the incense because every time I open it, it smells great. So yeah, this is in order, so I'm not going to try to get it out of order. There are, oh, not that one, not any of these actually. Here we go. On the majors and the 36 minors, there are astrological glyphs. The majors have either the zodiac sign or the planet sign. And then the minors have both, depending on what decan they adhere to. I honestly just really like how clear these are compared to what you'll see in a second, like the Thoth. Keeping it real, as I said, I'm probably going to use every tarot deck while I'm doing this deck and walk, so take this with like a grain of salt, I guess. Here we are with the Rider-Waite-Smith, the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. This is by E.A. Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith. This is not as obvious with the astrological interpretations, but they did use the Golden Dawn's symbolism and description, so they're in there. It's just not the glyphs right on the card. The influence is heavy though, so and this being my only Waite-Smith deck, I'm going to use it for study, like I always do. Of course, we have the Thoth Tarot. by Aleister Crowley and painted by Lady Frida Harris. This is the smaller edition because I think I've said this in other videos. I didn't know back when I bought this that the original was the giant size. I thought that was like just like large print for people who have bad eyesight or something. My ignorance spoke for itself. Here on the cards and the majors, we have the zodiac or planet sign. Guys, I do not know what's going on out here. On the minors, there are planet and zodiac signs. I don't know why, like, my brain just skips a beat when I go to say the word in the images themselves. So it's a little harder to see. But they exist more subtly. So maybe you should have the larger one to be able to see them better. And since, as I said, this, for me, the deck and walk will be more on the astrological side, I have my 2 astrological decks, the Black Moon Astrology cards by Susan Shepard. Mines are modified. I've cut them down and rounded the corners, so they were huge white borders, and these cards are too big to be dealing with that. I might also use this with the baseball tarot because it has a keyword on the card. And if I can, I will be doing the next installment of my comparing oracle keywords using this deck. Otherwise, I'll be reading the guidebook, pulling that card, the sign that correlates with the tarot card, the Decan, and the Arcana of Astrology cards by Claire Goodchild. This is the mass market edition that I have here. These cards are so pretty. And yeah, these are simpler kind of flashcard vibes going on here. I ain't mad about it. But yeah, same deal, different author, so they have a little bit something different to say than Susan Shepard. And I am here to listen. So that is my plans for my practice for what is it? The month of April. I got the baseball theme going here. Bats, balls, mitts, which I had to look to see if I can find a simple doodle. And baseball diamonds. I have the scoreboard here. And locally, I'll try to keep that theme going throughout, using the washi tape as well. So, guys, let me know what you think down and below. If you've made it this far in the video and you want to support and you don't know what to comment, you can leave me a baseball emoji like this guy here. These guys. Let me know down below if you've used any of these decks. If you're doing the deck and walk, how is that going so far for you? Let me know if you like this setup and how I'm doing these things. And links in the description to all of the things I've mentioned, the supplies I've used, the decks, all of the above, as well as my Instagram and Twitter account. If you'd like to follow me anywhere else, those are great places to start. You can also get a 10% off discount code to my Etsy shop, where I make all natural bath and body products for witchy and mundane purposes, and I offer readings with tarot and oracle cards. So it might be time, y'all. It might be time. If you want a reading, you need a discount from this code. This is specifically for my YouTube followers. But anyway, guys, thank you as always so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.